Man's problem is basically the moral dilemma, questioning your actions before and after by Yuji Krishnamurti. Hello everyone, this is author PB, flower of the series All Kaal None, available on Amazon as ebook and paperback, free to read with Kindle Unlimited subscription. Link to purchase or borrow my ebook is in the description box below. Today's topic is moral high ground. Some political figures said when they go low, we go high. It's absurd. Who are you to decide what is high or low? It's upside down world, literally. Anywhere you see, it's a convention of north, south, east, or west, an orientation, etc. People aligning to something. It is like defending your family is your responsibility, but defending your family during an Oscar where someone is clearly being insensitive to your wife's health is not acceptable. So what you call low and high is very subjective and self-serving always. And the more like-minded people you find, your subjectivity strengthens. But these moral value systems are built to strengthen the self. And self, we all know, is made of ideas. Whichever idea is trending strongly is what we conform to. All of a sudden, Corona and Ukraine is not an issue. Most important trending issue is how did Will Smith slap Chris Rock? And so the moral values is there to keep the center in place. They call it moral compass, as if it's guiding you towards something, but it's a relative thing depending on where you want to go, where you want to reach. Some people consider their wives to be personal belonging and not to be showing any skin in public. But to some, your wife in a bikini is fine. The line as to what is moral is blur as you talk to different people. As said before in one of my podcasts, we do what we want to do or avoid doing it by using morality to validate our action or inaction. Moral values are slightly different from a code. One is belief while the other is closer to a policy. Values are personal while code is to abide by as it is imposed. And that is where Will Smith went wrong. He had some values and he acted in defense. Someone provoked him. But the code of Oscar level gathering dictates a certain decorum to be maintained, which does not apply when making fun of others, so even if it is about their struggle in life. But if you get defensive and slap someone there, then you are out of line. So who decided where to draw that line? I don't know. And so moral codes and values, these are still again ideas, but probably driven by some kind of compulsion, which is still under the realm of thought. So by that logic, a worst criminal of the society could have a strong code of honor. Example, military work is morality driven based on values, an idea to fight and kill for your country. But then there are paid mercenaries also who fight for the highest bidder, like the contract killers, hangman, capos, etc. They deliver services for money. They have some code not to cheat. They also go by values. Bratva or mafia families, they pass on the torch to their progenies and they have values. It is all about drugs and killing, but there are values among the people that they serve and do business with. Not to say one is better than the other, because what is good is decided by the society, indirectly by us, the ones who make up the more than 50% bracket, and that percentage is set by societal blockchain validation. Now, common rebuttal to impersonal morality or subjective morality argument is all the ifs. If violence is involved or if an innocent life was impacted. Of course, again, military invasion in the name of peace is accepted violence. Innocent life of an animal in the name of food is accepted violence. If you go too deep, you won't be able to see the blurring line. It is with the help of societal norms and conditioning over time that you learn to see things in an accepted way. You follow what others say. And if your opinion is different, you either shut up, looking for like-minded bunch of people to bitch about it, or you act and get punished. So this decision of whether an act is moral or not is a play of words and forcing one to put in other person's shoes, playing on empathy and simulation of a hypothetical situation. In one of my podcasts, I have mentioned moment of truth. That is the only thing that can tell you what you would do, but you wouldn't know until you are there in that moment of truth. And so hypothetical situations mean nothing. We can never know how one would act or react under given circumstances, but we are too quick to judge anyway. Being constantly judgmental is a symptom of disease of mind, a mind that is in the overrun, because we are always comparing, always trying to reposition ourselves, always trying to keep the center rooted, saying you are this, you are better than this, you are supposed to do this. Yuji had said a man in natural state cannot do anything wrong, and that a moral man is a chicken-hearted man, something along those lines. These are not his exact words. So Yuji had also said that pay the price if society says it's wrong. And so this moral position is a self-torture. And so we naturally try to transfer that pain to others because we always share what we have. Now, someone could accuse me of judging the ones who are living by high moral code, which is again a play of words and logic, and nothing to say they are right or I am right, or they are wrong or I am wrong, But one thing is for sure, forcing one's moral beliefs on others is sowing the seed of violence. It can never achieve peace. It is said violence is only an indicator that something is wrong with society, but we never bring up an issue with the society and put the blame on individuals. Moral blame is most of the time on an individual. A quote in the movie Margin Call says, "We have made up money so we don't have to kill each other for food." So, and you should watch this movie Margin Call, it's really good. Well, money is just a step that has been added to stop people from thinking that everything belongs to them. They have to earn it now. As I said before, we don't need to go far. Animal Kingdom shows that natural order, or what natural order is when resource gets scarce. But morality is trying to put that identity inside us as a center and root an idea as unchangeable, kind of like law. Like cheating on your spouse or adultery is a sin in one religion, but it is acceptable if you marry more than one. Essentially, get a certificate first. For someone, cheating on your wife could be the worst thing, but Pope himself says adultery as sin of lust is not the worst of the deadly sin. So that line is so blur, yet we have our minds conditioned to know when we have crossed it. Of course, only when we question our action or if we get caught. So back to argument of violence. There is a scene in a movie where, this guy shows another guy a painting of a person holding a rifle pointing towards another who is on his knees and terrified. Then he asks, would you rather be the guy on the knees or one with the gun? Of course, some smartass can say neither, throw the gun away or arrest the man with the gun, etc. But what if the guy with the gun was the owner of the home that the guy on the knees was burglarizing, or that the intruder was trying to kill the homeowners, But we would never go that deep. We would always be too quick to judge based on some moral code that we hold on to. The thrill is in the game of survival, and everyone wants to have the upper hand. Nobody wants to lose. One will always choose self over others, mostly, unless it's morality driven. Morality is what teaches the unnatural reaction, the one that does not operate in the wild. Of course, then people will say it will be chaotic if there is no law or moral code. And so I will rest my case, because morality is an imposition than a forced idea, because if not for the conditioning, religious values, societal code, law, most people will not be moral. Back again to cruelty. The most common argument is that there is a universal moral code when it comes to cruelty, and it becomes taboo to even question that. But for many tribes, these codes have no meaning. Don't go too far to cannibalistic tribes, but let's look at the animal farms, in all these developed countries. How cruelly animals are bred, kept, and slaughtered there, millions every day. How about your fancy lobster? It is thrown alive in boiling water, but that is not cruel because you didn't hear the screams or the blood didn't splatter on you. So it must have not happened, or probably you didn't even think that far because it is acceptable in the society. It's being served in this Michelin star restaurant. Yuji's intention to trash moral code was not to encourage immoral things. That's just as stupid as asking a non-dualist to walk into a truck or a metaphysical believer to walk into a wall. Since everything is an illusion, it is happening, not happening, it has happened, ha ha ha. But the main intention behind trashing moral code is to point out how it strengthens and hardens the self, how it makes you inflexible to consider another point of view. We love our pets dearly, and some even emotionally blackmail on topics saying that what would you do if someone tortured your pets? There is an interesting documentary on this guy called Luca Magnotta. He is a Canadian that killed cats and I think kittens actually by torturing them and posted these videos online on YouTube. Eventually, he went on to kill a gay guy by torturing him, and he filmed that too and posted it. So someone who loved cats started their personal investigation and caught this guy. And the series is called Don't Fuck with Cats. But I'm sure they fucked many animals to get their daily dose of protein. Hey, it's doctor recommended. Because the answer to morality is I take right response that feels right at the time, or whatever the societal code dictates is right. Complimenting a woman at workplace is sexual harassment, but in modeling and film industry it is appreciated. It is actually the goal, to be desirable. So hypothetical questions are useless. For some, their mind is firm and made up about what is right or wrong, and mostly the ones bound by principles are the ones that always know what they would do in hypothetical situations. Those are essentially, again, ideas operating in an organism. We are not inert objects that would behave the same way in a given experimental scenario, but we are programmed to follow codes of conduct and moral codes like a dead object. Now, the same people who talk about violence would not think how many lives are destroyed every second for their survival, just to sustain them. When you buy a new home, the digging process disturbs the life of many living beings. Trees are cut down and thrown away. Animals they have to move off. All the sewage, electrical, water, cable, fire supply pollutes the waterbed, increases air temperature. People have all kind of enforcements, kill an ant mound from your yard without hesitation, destroy the entire colony, and look for products that go to the queen ant. That's fine, as it's an eyesore in the lawn. And keep the grass clean by dousing insane amount of pesticides every year to get rid of the weeds that grow. There are Jains in India that cover their mouth so that no insects are killed while they are breathing. And some don't even wear clothes. They have some logic to it. So how far would you go to make sure you are moral or proper or ethical? I'd say not very far. You would take the path of least resistance and do what society says is okay and ignore the rest. Put up Ukraine flag in your profile, or that you are vaxxed, or that you are upset over Will Smith behaving so out of line. Because when defending your family on a public platform, a code has to be followed. You can't just slap a guy joking about your wife's medical condition. No, that's not moral. Also, moral preachers have this mantra: do as much as you can, every drop counts, etc. Giving you leeway. Yeah, well, okay, sure, more power to you. Now, other side of the story on cruelty is we take one step further and make non-violence an agenda. Organizations that are there to protect the animals, the animal rights, or these vegan activists, they're all the same, again, fighting for some idea that they deemed is better than the other. Animals kill each other for food and mates all the time. Yuji said vegetarians are in fact crueler than meat eaters. But take that with a pinch of salt, and as always, him trying to dismantle the self-centered activity could be the reason. But yes, it's just a choice of food and conditioning. Like me and my family, we are vegetarians, and we could pitch that there is enough to eat and not to kill animals. But who knows if I was born in a tribe somewhere that was full of cannibals, then I would be eating my own kind. Or in another religion where eating an animal is okay, I would probably be eating animals. What's to say one is better than the other? While gardening, some recommend diatomaceous earth. It's recommended all over by growers and gardeners, actually. Often many come out making videos, looking really kind-hearted people. You would believe that they are really nice and really want do something nice, smiling, looking after nature, feeding hummingbirds, etc. But that thing, the diatomaceous earth, is a torture device. It cuts the belly of insects when they walk on it. Now, it'll be laughable if you make it an agenda and try to get that banned, which is also a thing in motion, perhaps. I believe Bruce Lee made some fantastic quotes on being flexible. He had said, don't get set into one form, adapt it and build your own and let it grow, be like water. Your morality is between you and your own idea of freedom or unfreedom. Don't go about calling it God's words, because again, when you start publishing that then you have sown the seeds of war, as you are against someone by holding on to another. I want to read an excerpt from my book. In the end, the character Ekalavya is explaining morality to the character Zenith on the planet Earth. Negative emotions justified with morality is what unites the commoners. Morality comes into play when humans lack the confidence to show what they truly desire, giving way to fear of God, fear of society, and fear of law. Forming an alliance of like-minded people empowers them. It makes them feel secure, bringing down the different ones, throwing them out of their just and moral society. Well, thank you for listening. This is author PB Flowers signing off. Bye-bye.